Hey, and welcome to Geek News Live, episode 40. 40 episodes in, y'all. It's
That's
getting,
pretty
getting
awesome.
real.
That's pretty awesome.
All right. So I figure we'll kick it off with a movie that's near and dear to my heart, but I'm unsure of how I feel about this news. They're remaking Big Trouble in Little China. And Dwayne Johnson, also known as The Rock to everybody else out there, is going to be Jack Burton. As far as the writers, they are the people who penned X-Men First Class, so potential maybe, who knows? But again, I don't know if you need good writers for this movie. But how about Dan? I think we had a conversation before. And I know you like this movie.
Yes, I really love the original movie. I don't know. I mean, The Rock's history in film isn't that great. he's got some, but have you ever watched what was it, Race to Witch Mountain?
No, I avoided
That was
that.
god awful. Never ever watched that. uh, I would rather see him back in the ring again. It would make me happier, but whatever. As far as making the remake of it, I've poo-pooed remakes, and I've actually liked two recently, so I can't really say much about that. I'd rather they left the John Carpenter movies alone, but hey.
Yeah, I know what you mean, Dan. That doesn't seem to happen. I like it, Dan. You drop your opinion, you drop the mic, and walk off. Hopefully, we'll get you back here soon. So yeah, as far as my opinion, I really love the old movie. My only question is, I don't necessarily disagree with the remake. I think they could do a lot of good things, but I think they need to go a completely different direction than the original. Because I don't think the original intended to be the movie that came out and became a cult classic. I think they intended it to be somewhat kind of serious with a bit of a kung fu and maybe a little bit awkward at times. But there's certain moments that are just cheesy, but they're awesome. They just became awesome. I don't think it was intended. And my question is, if they modernize that, are they going to lose that? Or do they want to keep it? Maybe they don't. But from everything I've heard from all the opinions, The Rock is supposed to be as similar to Jack Burton as possible. I don't know if I really see him being kind of bumbling as much as Kurt Russell was. Or I think it's Kurt Russell. Yeah, so we'll have to see. How about Max there? You want to go?
Yeah. You see, I don't know how to feel about this because it's not exactly like Big Trouble in Little China was a good movie. So I can't see that they can't really ruin it because it was pretty terrible to start off with. But I really like it though. So I mean, I want them to have that same kind of stupid feel to it, and I don't think you're gonna get that with The Rock because I mean, Kurt Russell, while he was in shape, he wasn't like The Rock. You can't. The Rock isn't a real person. It's like he's great in action movies and stuff like that because you don't expect real people to be in those movies. And when he tries to do things like Dan was saying with Escape to Witch Mountain and things like that, where they expect him to be like a normal guy, it doesn't work because it just doesn't work. That's not his strong suit. So I don't know how the movie's gonna play out, but I can't really say that I'm 100% against it or 100% for it. So I mean, yeah, we'll just see how it goes. But I don't really like their pick as The Rock because Kurt Russell was just kind of a guy when he was in that movie, and The Rock isn't just like a normal guy.
Yeah. I know what you mean, especially after I saw the last Fast and Furious. He seems almost like RoboCop. All right, Mike?
Well, I just rewatched Big Trouble a couple weeks ago, and I forgot, I enjoy it, but it's monumentally stupid, but I enjoy it. It's one of those monumentally stupid Carpenter films that I just like for the sake of the cheese factor now. Like, the 80s sheen on it, definitely. Still glitzes and glamour. But, I don't know. I don't know what to think about this remake, because I do like The Rock, actually, as an actor. I think he's pretty funny, actually. I don't get. I've obviously seen Witch Mountain or any of his kids type stuff or anything like that, but in the stuff I've seen him in, like Pain and Gain, Like, he's the highlight of that movie, and I'll admit that movie's dumb too, but he's like the comedic highlight of that film.
But he plays a freaking bodybuilder. Like, you expect that.
Yeah, but whatever. It's just like, I hope if they remake it with him, it only means they're gonna embrace more cheesiness and more stupidity. So as long as it's in the feel of it with some decent action and fantasy type stuff and a little kung fu here and there, sure, I'm down for it.
Yeah, I agree with you. Go ahead, Max.
They got to bring back the Raidens, though.
Yeah, that'll be interesting because I don't know whether or not you all knew this, but Ed Boon actually admitted that's what they based Raiden off of, was from that movie, the character. It inspired him heavily.
That wasn't blatantly obvious at all.
Come on, man. The people that haven't seen it. So there you go. That's what they have to do. They just have to make everyone realize how much Mortal Kombat ripped Raiden off this movie, I guess.
Christopher Lambert as one of them.
That would be awesome.
You do a snarky little laugh, like, heh, 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 heh.
Sorry.
And then you could just rename The Rock as Jax and give him, like, robot arms and just say, screw it.
So basically, we're just remaking Mortal Kombat now.
All right, so I'd cast Chris Pine as Johnny Cage, The Rock as Jax. Who else?
Why don't we just remake bad movies? See, then there's no bad one.
That's what they're doing. Big Trouble is a bad movie. They're remaking.
Oh, you make me sad, sir.
But it's enjoyably bad. So
yeah. I mean, I love the movie too. It's a classic, but no, it's not good. You can't sit here and argue that it's good.
This is true, Max. This is true. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see where they go with that. Yeah, I'll have to wait and see what they do. Kind of what the future holds. We shall see. Well, we've got a rumor coming out that apparently this is kind of interesting. I mean, I guess everyone was expecting a Spider-Man drop in Civil War, or not Civil War. Obviously, everyone's expecting Spider-Man in Civil War, but they were expecting a Spider-Man name drop in Avengers, like Age of Ultron, which never happened, and not even. Everyone was also expecting, I think, an after-scene shot where, oh, hey, look, it's Spider-Man standing there. That never happened either. But the latest rumor, though this seems a little bit more likely to be true, but again, they labeled as a rumor, is Latino Review has said that Spider-Man / OsCorp will be discussed in Ant-Man. That's interesting. I think, to me, it makes sense because in theory, OsCorp makes a lot of sense because that would be the easiest way for Ant-Man, especially because it's is it PIM Industries, I believe is the company, would make sense that they would actually be talking about him because I think it's supposed to be based out in New York. I'm going to have to hand this off to Dan or Max. How about Dan? That way you can kind of help me out here. No idea, Dan? No?
Okay. I think it's PIM and yeah, it is.
All right, thanks, Dan.
But apart from that, I mean, if that's all you needed, then I'm good.
Yes, that's all I was looking for, was a little bit of confirmation. Max looked a little busy, so I didn't want to go too far with that. So that'll be interesting. To me, it makes sense. What would be more interesting is to see if they're actually going to do anything more than that, if they're actually even going to talk about Spider-Man, which I don't see how that works. I'm kind of interested to kind of see your all's thoughts. Mike, you want to go first on this one?
Yeah, I don't... Like, the OsCorp thing I could see happening, but the way I see it happening is, like, it's a quick graphic of, like, an OsCorp logo or something flashing across the screen. Like, they can quickly put that into post. Because Ant-Man, I believe, was in production well before the negotiations finally solidified with the Spider-Man characters. So, unless they went back and did reshoots, which I haven't heard of them doing any reshoots for anything, I can only see it being like a very quick passing, like Easter egg at most, probably, which is fine because yeah, whatever. I'm patient enough. I can wait to see Spidey and everything like that in Civil War. So, and I guess what the thing is now is they're whittling down the list of prospective Spider kids in Atlanta. Like, they're all screen testing right now, and I think they're down to 6, so pretty soon we should have an idea of who is going to be the new one.
All right, Max, go ahead.
There's actually a Bachelor-style reality TV show going on right now with the Spider-Man candidates.
Kevin Feige's handing out roses to all the ones that don't.
He's giving out like golden web shooters, like you get the golden web shooter this week. But the PIM Technologies or PIM Industrial or Industries, that's one of the major Marvel players, and then you have obviously OsCorp, Stark Tech, and Hammer, something or other, the bad guy in Iron Man 2.
Yeah, Hammer.
But yeah, so if they want to talk about OsCorp as like some competition, yada yada yada, then that'll be cool. I agree with Mike. I don't think that there's going to be too much. It's really just going to be like a line of dialogue, or they're going to flash a OsCorp symbol like they did for the LexCorp trucks in the Superman movie. Like you only see it for 10 seconds, but yeah, hey, it's there. So
yeah, like it's like what they did with all the LexCorp stuff in Man of Steel. Like I can see that happening more than anything else because that's a quick post-production thing they can. Because I really feel like Ant-Man, more than any of the other Marvel movies, really needs to establish its mythos first and foremost before winking to the crowd about the bigger universe. Like Thor, Iron Man, Captain America, they all had kind of their pretty strong following already, and so you could expand on the universe a little bit more. Ant-Man, I feel, needs to earn his place quick, because also he's going to be in Civil War too, so...
Yeah, I agree, Mike. Max?
Oh, well, I mean, with Ant-Man, he's a huge... It's weird how, like, he is a major player in the Avengers, like, always has been. Definitely one of the original characters in there, and, like, yeah, he doesn't get any love, really. So, we'll see, again, we'll see how this movie goes. I'm hoping for the best. I'm excited for it. But, yeah, as far as, like, Spider-Man tie-ins and stuff like that, I don't know how much they're going to do. It's probably just going to be a quick nod and just, call it a day.
I like it. Thanks, Max. Dan, what's your opinion?
I mean, do you really need a Spider-Man tie-in? I mean, at the end of the Avengers, you get Thanos, but like half the crowd doesn't know who it is, and they're like, "Who's that guy?" Who's that? And then you figure out that oh yeah, they're going off of that storyline. I mean, everybody knows Spider-Man. He just shows up. I mean,
nah, dude, origin story.
Yeah, you need another origin story. But no, I mean, the only reason they would like plug Spider-Man is just to go like, look, we got this property, and then it goes away. But I don't know. I mean, I'm cool with it, but I just don't see why you would have to add more to Ant-Man than just trying to get the Ant-Man story straight.
More superheroes, more.
It doesn't always make things better.
Yes.
I figured it out. The director of Ant-Man, Peyton Reed, also directed Bring It On. Who starred in Bring It On? Kirsten Dunst. Kirsten Dunst is going to make a cameo, and therefore there's your Spider-Man tie-in.
6 Degrees of Spider-Man.
There you go.
In the rain.
Oh, that's awesome. I love that one, Mike. That would actually be funny if that ends up being true. But anyways, yeah, we'll have to see. Again, I agree. I think it'll be OsCorp. I was surprised when they mentioned Spider-Man, but I think they mentioned it just so that way people would realize where OsCorp was from, maybe, generally. But we'll see.
Matthew McConaughey's OsCorp. All right.
That would be awesome. All right. All right, so next up, we've got Andy Serkis as Supreme Leader Snoke. This happened about, the last Sunday, on Sunday. Or no, it didn't. It happened actually on Friday. There we go. And they dropped this news that Andy Serkis will be Supreme Leader Snoke in the next Star Wars Force Awakens. Which, interesting to me, is not so much who he's playing, it's so much as that they've let me know that he's going to be not, well, I guess he's been somewhat of an ambiguous person in quite a few movies, where it's maybe he may be a villain, he may not be. And I'm going to be interested to see how he plays this character, because I've really, like, his little bit role he had in Avengers Age of Ultron was just amazing. He just, like, caught that moment, and I was like, wow, he plays, like, the perfect little bounty hunter. I don't even know really what you'd call that guy. I guess criminal. And it was just interesting. He just fascinated me, and I was like, I really want to see him in more movies, and this excites me that I actually get to see him in this movie. So So I'm excited for that. Dan, you have any thoughts?
Not really. I just
No?
I just want a good Star Wars movie. That's all I want. I mean, dude seems to be a cool actor. He seems competent. Give him a decent role and give me a good Star Wars movie.
I like it, Dan. You're sticking to your guns. I like it. Mike?
Yeah, I guarantee you'll see more of Andy Serkis and Marvel definitely because he should be Black Panther's main nemesis probably. That's kind of what they set him up for in Ultron. But yeah, whatever Snoke is, whatever that title's supposed to mean, it sounds like it's a very Imperial type of sounding title. So maybe he'll be following in the grand tradition of those many Imperial higher-ups that get choked to death by Force users. So we'll see. He might be the new kind of Grand Moff Tarkin type character. That would be kind of cool. But who knows? Yeah, like Dan said, I just want it to be good. And I think Serkis is a very fine enough actor in and out of motion capture. Like, he does this audiobook for the Screw Tape Letters, I think. You know, C.S. Lewis's, like, short stories or whatever, documenting, like, this demon having a correspondence with his uncle about how to wreck this dude's life. And he plays Screw Tape, one of the demons. And, like, they have a video of him, like, getting into the role. And it's just a voice role, which we all know him, like, for his voices and stuff. But to see the guy, like, transform himself physically while doing a vocal role is really interesting. So he's a fine enough actor, and I hope he gets more big-name work and prestige work as time goes on.
Cool, thanks, Mike. Yeah, it'll be interesting. That actually sounds really intriguing. I'd never even heard of that book by C.S. Lewis, but that actually sounds really interesting, that audio tape, especially if he's going that deep into the role. All right, looks like Max is a little busy, so we'll come back to him a little bit later. The next story up is apparently the 24 spinoff will not follow Jack Bauer. I'm not sure if this is good news or bad news for you 24 fans. It's going to actually follow a young male. I love the way they describe this. A young male terrorist hunter with an older female partner. As far as I go, 24 is not necessarily my cup of tea. I've gotten into it a few times, but I've never really reinvested since it came back out. I think it's interesting that they're going a different route. I think that would probably. Well, they're sort of going a different route. I don't know if they're entirely, because they're using a young male terrorist hunter. I guess he never really had a female partner in the original, but we'll have to see. I'll have to see. I'm just not sure how I feel about this. I think it could be interesting. I think it might attract more people, but we'll have to see what they do if they go back to their 10-episode ways. Because I've heard from a lot of people that love the show, the shorter series was much better than the 24 or 26 episode or the longer run episodes when they were trying to shove more in, because you had random filler of, like, really, would this really take an hour? Would they be this busy dealing with just this little piece? So it'll be interesting. Dan, are you a 24 fan?
More or less. It started on a high note, and then it went down, then it went back up again. But not having Jack Bauer kind of makes me sad because, I mean, the whole series was basically the collection of Jack Bauer's worst days. Yeah, like, the last series was good, but I'm not sure you can call it 24 since it was fewer than 24 episodes. I mean, it's not 24 hours. But yeah, I'll check out the new one. I doubt it'll be as good as you know. I mean, Sutherland kind of owned that role, so.
Yeah. Max, how do you feel about 24, sir?
I watched the first few seasons of it, and I was like, well, it's like every year, once a year, this dude has Reverse Christmas, where it's just the worst day of all time. And I couldn't do it after like 2 or 3 seasons. I was just like, okay, it's enough. But I said, what, they're getting somebody to replace Kiefer Sutherland? Are they bringing the show back, or are they just making a movie?
They're doing a 24 spinoff show. It's not going to follow Jack Bauer at all. It's going to be some new young male terrorist hunter with a older female partner.
Okay. whatever, who cares? Fine, why not? And it's going to be the same show, pretty much. It says it's going to be the exact same show. I'm not going to watch it.
That's all they gave us.
Yeah.
Is that. So I'm gonna guess they're gonna probably follow that formula since it's done well.
Right, but it's just too much, man. It's too much. There's no way, like this is every year, one day a year. This dude is just like, fuck.
Oh, so awesome.
If it was called Die Hard, that worst day would be on Christmas.
Nice, I like it. Mike?
Did I miss the circus talk?
Yeah, you did. Would you like to
I
pop in
love
your
Andy
opinion?
Serkis is all I want to say. Whatever they want to put him in, I'm down. That's all I want to put him in.
All right. Appreciate it. Mike, your thoughts on 24, the 24 spinoff?
Just two thoughts. I watched season 1, and I'm sure Jason loves this news.
Yeah, so he definitely, I'm not sure. I didn't get a chance to get his opinion on it, but yeah, I don't know if he loves it or if he hates it, because he loves himself some Jack Bauer, so we'll have to see. I think he likes the concept of it coming back, but I think it's going to depend on, like what Dan said, who they put in that role, because I think he loves Kiefer in that role. All right, so we got some good old Max news coming up. Batman and Suicide Squad. The big rumor is that he's going to actually be in the movie for what actually seems like a reasonable reason, not just, hey, I'm Batman, and just show up. He's apparently going to break in to, I don't know if they're going to call it Argus, but we'll just leave it at that. It's just Amanda Waller's prison, where she's going to be starting the Suicide Squad and have his disgruntled feeling about that. Max?
Yeah, I was actually talking with the director because he likes to put everything out. I'm sure there isn't any Suicide Squad news that nobody's heard yet. Like, it's so... I don't know what they got going on that set over there, but like every day it seems like there's more Joker pictures, yada, yada, yada. So, I mean, yeah, people saw the Batman driving around, or the Batmobile driving around, and so now they got to explain themselves. But I'm down. I really like the animated film Assault on Arkham, and I'm hoping that they do something along those lines. I mean, it was really good. It was solid. Batman was in there. He wasn't the main star of the movie. He was just kind of this, he was just there, kind of moving it along a little bit. But yeah, I mean, I'm down. Let's do it. Hopefully, they got a good script, and it's not just a bunch of stupidity. But like with the amount of press that they're getting, my hopes are going down and down and down because I feel like they're just showing people stuff to keep them interested. They're like, hey, it's cool. I swear it's cool. I swear it's cool, but they're trying too hard. So, I mean, I'm down to put Batman in anything. Like, they could have a reason to have Batman, or like Philip was saying, he could just show up like, hey, I'm Batman and I'm here. That's fine by me either way. But I hope the movie's good. Like, it's just scary to me how much we see of what's going on in this movie.
Come on, man. They could just have really, really shitty security.
But, like, on a multi-million-dollar movie, you can't, like, hire 4 more dudes to stand around and snatch cameras and whatnot?
No, the trouble is they're filming in Toronto, so everyone's too polite to say, hey, could you stop filming, please?
Nice. And, Mike, so what do you think about the Batman and Suicide Squad?
I kind of had a feeling, yeah, that was the way it was going to go, because I, too, saw the Assault on Arkham animated film, and I enjoyed it fine enough as a tie-in to the Arkham City, Arkham Asylum games. It worked really well. If they're gonna parallel that, I can see it kind of being like the Ocean's 11 of superhero movies in a way. Like Suicide Squad is Ocean's Crew, the Joker's the Andy Garcia character, and Batman is just the law who's trying to get everyone down. So I could see that similar type of story, or heist, acquiring the target or acquiring the package type storyline, going along the same lines as its animated counterpart. But yeah, Max is right. The amount of stuff that's getting leaked is really distracting. It's going to be distracting when I watch the movie, too. Because if you've seen like the car chase stuff with Batman on top of the Joker mobile, essentially, for all intents and purposes, he's not wearing his full cape. He's got like 3 orange place markers for where his CGI cape is going to be. So when I see that scene, I'm gonna be like, oh, that's distracting because that's a CGI cape. Because I remember seeing pictures of the stuntman with those orange things where his cape's supposed to be. That's like it's just a thing for me. Because also I've been on movie sets too. Like I was in the graduation scene on Amazing Spider-Man 2. And so when that scene came around, all that was going through my mind wasn't the story. It was like, God damn, that was a hot day to be filming. Like, but hopefully the leaks do stop. I don't want too much of this to get out because honestly, I'm looking forward to this now more than Batman v Superman a little bit because this looks like it's at least embracing some degree of wackiness.
All right, Max?
I was gonna say, yeah, Mike. I'm sure it was super hot as you were standing around not smoking a cigarette.
Yeah, Stan Lee was melting in the corner somewhere.
Whatever, dude. Stan Lee is eternal.
Nice. Dan?
I've got a feeling that this movie is going to be like 20 minutes long because everybody just spent so much time talking to the press and taking like leaked photos and shit that nobody actually made the movie. So you get a work print, it's like one can. They're like, I don't know. And also, Mike, we might get like the leaked bootleg version that happens before all of the effects. Like
it's gonna be the X-Men Origins Wolverine of DC.
I thought that movie was better without the effects.
Me too, because at least I laughed a lot. But as far as Batman being in it, whatever. Just keep adding more and more characters to everything. Because that works. Yeah.
I'm sorry to bring you down, Dan. That wasn't the goal. But yeah, we'll have to see. I agree. I'm amazed at I try to avoid reading them just for that purpose. But it's every day I see at least 2 or 3 articles on, hey, more leaked photos, more leaked footage. I was like, how? I
you might
agree.
be able to cobble together a film with all of this leaked footage and photos.
Exactly.
Batman's over there, and then you got the Joker looking. You got a purple car. I don't know.
Yeah, Dan. I mean, I watched the dailies pretty much every day. It's looking pretty good. Like, I mean, I give them my 2 cents, and then they made a couple changes. The filming's probably going to go on a little longer than they thought, just because I had some ideas that, to get more superheroes in there. But yeah,
just a nice Canadian man hanging out behind the Daily guy.
So it's good. It's looking good. I want to tell you, from what I've seen so far, looking really good.
Thank you, Max. Thank you.
Oh, that's just awesome, Max. I love it. All right, so that's all the news we have, at least for general topics this week. I've got a little bit of news coming out for video games this week. So first thing I'm going to bring up is a game that's actually, for anyone that really loves Lego, I think this is a game I'd almost have to say you need to check out. It's on Steam, PC only, unfortunately. It's an early access game, but it's called Lego Worlds. What a lot of people use the comparison is it's the, I guess, Lego version of Minecraft, but I think that's oversimplifying it a little bit. It's not quite as much the survival as Minecraft, it's the designer of Minecraft. So you literally get an entire world that's randomly generated that you can explore. They have, just from what a little bit I saw, they have horses, they have cars, they have apparently space shuttles. I don't know if you can actually find outer space. They didn't get that far. You actually do die if you run into lava bricks, I guess. I don't really understand how they did that. But there actually is water that you can swim in as well, which was also interesting. I was like, huh, okay. But you get Lego sets within there that you can just literally open up and just tell it to create, and it'll build it for you. And it's actually hilarious because it'll pull out all the right color pieces, and you'll see the color pieces flying in as it builds it right in front of you. I was like, that's kind of cool. So for the people, that don't want to go through the effort or don't want to spend the money, I guess, I don't really see that though, because it's a $20 game, or I think it might be a $30 game actually. And so it's interesting. I'm not sure how anyone else. I don't know if is anyone on the panel excited for this game? Max, Dan, nah.
I'm much excited for the Lego thing where little Lego guys go in.
Dimensions.
Yes, there you go. I'll be buying that, not this one.
All right. Max, you were going to say something?
Yeah, like, I don't understand Minecraft. That game boggles my mind. But so I'm not sure that I'm going to be down for this Lego game. But also, isn't half the fun of Legos putting the Legos together? Like, I don't get to why it's a selling point where hey, it builds it all by itself. But I think it'd be really pretty stupid if you had to like point and click all your Legos together to make it.
But there's no mess this way, Max. It's just on a screen somewhere.
And then like you find some extra pieces at the end. You're just like, crap, where in the virtual world do these go? But I think it would be cool if like when you're swimming or if the lava it was just like a sea of Lego bricks that kind of float. I think that would be an interesting little visual. But no, I mean I'll see what people do on this game before I give it a try. I'm not the hugest PC gamer, so it's got a couple of knocks for me to play it. But hopefully it's good.
Yeah, so what I didn't mention, Max, is that they actually have every single entire piece that Lego makes, and you can individually select each piece and move it on and build whatever you could imagine. And you can choose your color. You can paint it after it's built. It's ridiculous, man.
Well, no, that's not cool. Like, you should have to take the whole thing apart and go get red ones.
Nice. Trying to bring back some horrible memories from your childhood when you're like, damn it, I don't have enough of that color.
Yep.
Good
You're
time.
busy making like Mad Max cars out of different Lego sets, and then.
Oh, yeah. So
I ran out of black pieces. Damn it.
Speaking of which, we need those actual play sets. To hell with it being 5 and up. I'll buy a Mad Max Fury Road play set.
that would be pretty cool. We'll have to see if they actually go that far.
Yeah, I was telling Philip and Dan before we got started. The next Lego set I'm gonna buy is the Helicarrier set. It's like $300. That's probably gonna be the last Lego set I ever buy.
Oh man, yeah, there's a lot of people that love it, man. I had a friend in Denver who absolutely he had the Death Star. He had basically everything Star Wars, and he had them all built in his basement. It looked cool, but I was like, I didn't even want to ask how much money it was. But Max, are you trying to say something? You're muted.
Yeah. How much time did he spend doing all that?
So he would glue them after he finished. I think he said on average it would take him to do like the really large set about like 6 weeks to try and finish it all, because you'd have to plan it out, figure out all the pieces, and then figure out where everything would go.
Was he Will Ferrell's character from the movie? Using the Craggle and stuff?
Oh, that's very true. It's funny. I didn't even think about that because that was before the movie.
Like, no, don't touch it. It's glued.
Oh man. Yeah. Apparently, a recent Nintendo Direct. I'm actually kind of excited for this. Said that they're going to release Dr. Mario on 3DS. It's already out. I think it was of the Nintendo Direct this week. It was already out in Japan, and it comes out in the U.S. in June 11th. I don't know if anyone. Dan, are you a Dr. Mario guy, or were you a?
Not really. They've already released it on the Wii Virtual Console, and then the Wii U had like 2 different versions of it, and I'm kind of sick of it by now. So I will not be buying it for my 3DS. But
Mike.
Yeah, whatever. Dr. Mario was easy peasy. Where's my Yoshi's Cookie and my Dr. Robotnik's Mean Bean Machine updates?
Yoshi's Cookie was awful.
Oh my. Yep. All right. Then the last bit of news I have is a game that technically got released, I guess, June 1st, just because it's a Xbox One Games with Gold. I don't know if it's exclusive or not exactly yet. I think initially it's supposed to come out on PC because it was a Steam. Well, not Steam. It was a Kickstarter early release. Beta release, whatever they're calling it at this point. Massive Chalice. It's a Double Fine game. It's a strategic. I want to say it's not really a role-playing game, but I guess it's a turn-based strategy game with a unique twist. So you do have the traditional of like Bravely Default or any other turn-based fighting game where you get in there and you have like so many characters and you take so many moves, and you usually have like, you know, 1 or 2 actions per round. So that's kind of fairly standard. That's okay. That's not what's so intriguing about this game. What's really intriguing is it's over a span of 300 years. And what you do is you actually have to pick. It's adult genetics, really. It's almost like a Game of Thrones to some extent, except you just don't have the infighting, which would be kind of cool. I don't know. I've gotten far enough. Maybe there's random pop-ups that somebody tries to overthrow somebody.
As long as you don't have the incest, I think you're fine.
It actually prevents that. Funny enough, because I was trying to figure out, I'm like, why? So you actually put people together. You breed people, basically, is the right way to say this. So you actually have like so many lineages, and then you start up a castle, and you're like, all right, you're a hunter, and you're a caberjack, which essentially think of a caberjack as a lumberjack who carries a big piece of wood with metal at the end. And that's essentially their fighting style. And so if you breed them together, you get a new character class out of it. What's interesting is they have traits that go along with them. Some of them are actually like need glasses, so they can't shoot far if they're a ranged character. Some of them are nervous, so they actually like will have issues at the beginning of a fight round, and they'll actually won't move right. They won't do what you tell them to do. But what's more interesting is you can actually get people that are completely infertile. So if you're not paying attention, you put like 2 people together, you have no children, and guess what happens when all your characters die, because they die in this game? You can have nobody. Go ahead.
So the objective is to take specific breeding for the strongest, most dominant type of master race, let's say.
Oh, yeah. Yep, that's basically what it is. It's very wrong.
Okay.
Now, can you like breed slaves together to get the best slaves?
No, there are no slaves.
No, well, that's stupid. What kind of kingdom has no slaves?
How forward-thinking of them.
Kingdom has no inbreeding. I mean, come on, people.
Yeah, no inbreeding.
Half of Europe.
No incest, no slaves. This game is crappy.
This game is boring.
Yeah, I was actually surprised because I was looking at it, I was like, why am I? Because somebody died. It's like when somebody dies, you have to like rearrange the marriage, and I'm like, why do I only have 1 guy left? And then I select him and I go look and I'm like, oh, that is hilarious, because they were all siblings of the person I was going to match.
Oh, I thought
they wouldn't let it.
I thought it's because she's purposely killing off her mates.
That would be awesome too, actually. That would be kind of cool if they actually have that infighting underneath that you don't realize it. Like, but overall, I definitely say if you have an Xbox One, check it out. It's free, so why not? And it's a lot of fun. It's a game that pulls you in more than you would think initially, especially because you can simulate across years. So it's a lot of fun. That's pretty much it. Oh, actually, Dan, I know you got to check out Splatoon, and we talked about that last week. I'll let you give everyone the people an update.
I've been playing it all week, and I think it's great. Basically, think of like a third-person Call of Duty, where the point is not to kill the other people, but to spread as much paint on the floor as you can. When you like cover a certain amount of it, you can turn into squid form and just kind of like swim through it, because you move a lot faster. And then you get to the end and you spray more. You've got different weapons. You've got your basic kind of like a machine gun that shoots paint. You also have giant paint rollers. And those are great because you can just kind of like roll over other people. They just unveiled the more competitive rankings today or last night around 10 o'clock. But yeah, I've played it for like 5 days now. I'm level 14, so that's pretty much all I've been doing.
Nice. I like it. All right, Max, comic book news?
Yes, there's actually some comic book news today. They are coming out with this new comic book called Deadpool versus Thanos, and it's basically a lover's quarrel because Deadpool and Thanos both are in love with the character Death, and so it's going to be some zany romp across the galaxy, involving those two. It's gonna be a 4-issue little series there, and it's gonna come out in September. But yeah, I'm actually kind of excited for this one. It should be pretty silly. I don't get into a lot of the Deadpool stuff just because there's so much of it. It's like, oh, look at Deadpool being crazy doing this now, but you know, I don't know. Well, it should be fun. I think I'm gonna give it a go.
Awesome, Max. Thanks. And so, how do you like Game Island, sir?
I love it so much that I'm here now at the Game Island. I'm just gonna walk around. You can see all the lovely things we have for sale here at Game Island. Plushies. Who doesn't love stuffed animals? So yeah, we got that going on. GoGameIsland.com, or you can go to BGMX, BGMX.com. All those good things.
Awesome, Max. Thanks. That sounds awesome. And also, as well, don't forget to check out our friend Mike McG at youtube.com, Mike McG TV. Appreciate you joining us, Mike.
Always a pleasure.
As well, please check us out on iTunes, 3 Geeks. We haven't yet, I think we're still 3 Geeks up there. As well, we have our 3geeks.ninja page, which you can see underneath my name right now. Check us out there, and you can find the stories that we write. You can also find our iTunes link if you need to get to iTunes, or you can even just check out our podcast on the website there. I appreciate everyone for joining us tonight, and thank you all for watching. Please like and subscribe to our channel. Have a good night.